ready?
Yes.
Pick up and necklace and put them on. So, this was the thing I saw in Sub 1 that really made the framework start working again. And this is the part that changed, where before, the way that the hand was represented was that you had the 5 hands, and then you had a Tao symbol on the back of the hand, or the front of the hand. I had it 2 different ways, but that was the hand. The hand was 5 fingers, and then a Tao symbol on the hand. And that was supposed to represent that you had the 5 steps, and then the Tao symbol represented the entire process. But that got so confusing to try and understand in reality that it just didn't work. The framework just stopped working, and I got extreme religious rot. And what I ended up doing during the Sub 1 that allowed me to much, much greater understand the framework is I realized that Step 1 and Step 5 are meant to be the exact same thing. They're the connection point or the loop point where the horseshoe wraps back around, where the 3 steps in the middle are just meant to have you understand that they are the same thing. So Step 1 is maximum efficiency principle. I want to taste the best thought texture. Step 5 is will to taste, which is all of reality is reaching out to taste the best thought texture. And then whenever you do the 3 steps in the middle that let you realize you don't exist and you are only the same thing that everything else is, now you realize that you are everything. And now, right now, you have from the pinky and the thumb, which are steps 1, step 5, you have the white and black energy representing I am me, and also that me is everything. So therefore I am everything, and those 2 things connect into the portal. And now basically what you have, you remember how we talked about the question mark and the exclamation mark, how the question mark was the attempt to understand everything, and the exclamation mark was the actual experience of understanding everything, the actual joy and religious freedom that comes from the understanding. Well, now the hand represents the question mark, and the portal, or the white and black hole into each other, the wormhole to heaven, this represents the exclamation mark. This represents the actual experience. So the hand is the process, and the portal itself is the experience, and the portal is only generated from the thumb and the pinky when you are successfully running the framework. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So that's the discovery I got, was that Step 1 and Step 5 are meant to be the same thing, and that's the portal. The portal represents that all that exists is that one will. That your will, everything that exists from will, every thought that goes through your head, literally every thought that, oh, I want ice cream, or I want to get in the water, or I want to look at the water, or, you know, look at those people over there. Every single thought, every single thing that you experience, every single thing that anything experiences is only one little piece of the greater will, the will to taste, which makes up everything. And when you realize that both wills are the same and there's only one will, that is the portal. And the 3 steps in the middle are only to help you get there. So that was the big thing that I realized on Sub 1 that was just like, bazinga, we're here. You know what I'm saying? Now we're big chilling. You should really consider that, especially from that perspective, where really there's only 2 different pieces,
like,
right?
The thought texture of Step 1 comes with the thought texture of Step 5.
No, you should just start running the whole framework. Which is literally, so this is how it works in reality. This is how I think. This is what happened when I was on the beach. I thought, okay, maximum efficiency principle. What is this? Maximum efficiency principle is that I want the best thought texture, but it's also the belief, this is how I represent this particular thing, is that if being a Christian was more efficient, then I would believe that I am a Christian, even though I don't believe in God. That's basically how maximum efficiency principle is represented to me. Where it's like, maximum efficiency principle isn't just that I want to taste the best thought texture. Maximum efficiency principle is the genuine understanding that I will sacrifice anything for maximum efficiency. I don't care about family, I don't care about me, I don't care about my emotions, I don't care about my country. Nothing do I care about more than everyone experiencing the best thought texture, or at least me going on the best path for experiencing the best thought texture. Not for everyone. That was a bad way to put it, because it's not about like peace or the world or anything. It's just about like Nietzsche's affirmation of power, where it's literally just, I will go through the most efficient route. If I'm wrestling and believing in a Christian God helps me to pin my opponent, then guess what? I'm going to believe in a Christian God for that match, because that is what's most efficient. That's what the maximum efficiency principle is. It is literally just the understanding that I will believe most efficient thought, because all I am is a machine moving towards maximum efficiency. That's the maximum efficiency principle. So you can imagine it's the machine principle, or whatever you want, that helps you best encapsulate that thought texture, right? That's maximum efficiency principle. That is the maximum efficiency principle, okay? And then you have Step 2, which is Ziggs. And now you go, okay, well, if I have maximum efficiency principle, I have to exist, and I have to be a thing. and I have to know I'm a thing. So that makes me a Zix. A Zix is just anything, and you think about this from like the story perspective. Now, and this is going to really help once we get talking about the story again, but when you think about Zix, you don't think about it in a philosophical term, you don't think about it as a part of the framework, you literally think about it as a Zix from a story, and you think, okay, so I am a Zix, which means I am a being in reality. So I have a maximum efficiency principle because I am an entity that is experiencing God, right? So then you realize, so I'm a thing, and now you go to Azix, and now you realize, okay, so that thing, all these thoughts that I'm having that I think are me, these are just Azix. Azix is whenever a button gets pressed and you have an experience. So lemonade is an Azix. Lemonade is a framework. Whenever I take a drink of lemonade, right, that is a framework. In the same way, all these thoughts that I'm having right now, all these words coming out of my mouth, the feeling of my mouth moving, my lips wrapping around my teeth, these are all Azix. These are all frameworks, right? And whenever you understand Exazix, which is that if that's true, then everything that I am, all these thoughts that I'm having, they must also be frameworks. Literally, this thought that I'm having right now as it goes past. This is the stage that I always called folding up. Step 4, folding up. The reason I called it folding up was because this is the step. Do you remember the explanation of old slingshot? Which is you go so far back in your mind. You remove so far of your mind, you convince yourself that so much of your mind is God, that there's nothing left, and you slingshot forward back into reality. Well, that's what step 4 is. Step 4 is folding up, where you fold so far up into yourself. You literally, live time, convert so much of your thought texture so quickly into understanding that it is all just the infinity, that there is no you left, and you, every experience that you have, every little movement of thought texture in your head is just another representation of infinity. And that thought where you're meta-analyzing that is also just another representation of infinity. And there's no place where you exist independently, and there is no actual thing in itself. There's only the experiences unfolding. That's step 4. That's the successful application of step 4 is folding up. Okay? And now you reach step 5. This is something that I was thinking about a lot before we went into the sub 1 experience, is this idea that used to I could more efficiently run my frameworks because I just ran an idea that I was someone else. I ran the idea that I was God instead of trying to filter myself through a logical process that made me realize that I was God. And step 5 represents this filter. This represents the thing which you run yourself through in order to become more powerful. So this is the one where you actually think, I am God. You actively move towards those thought textures. Step 5 is the realization, right, that if there is no me, if I am only made up of frameworks, and there is no me at the bottom of existence, therefore I must be everything. If there's no separation between me and everything else, me and everybody else, me and every other animal, every other tree, then all that must be left is me. I must be everything. It is all me. The thing that I before perceived as myself, was only one representation of this larger emergence of thought textures. And with this opens the portal where the thumb and the pinky become each other, and you realize that there could be nothing except this infinity, this moving towards the best thought texture, this thing which reaches out from nothing into everything, because it is looking for, the thing, and it will always be looking for the thing, because the thing is not there. It will always be moving towards the best thought texture. It's always expanding. It is expansion itself. It is everything. It is all of math, all of physics, every word you could ever possibly think of, right? And whenever you realize that, then that's the portal. That is the actual active representation. That is the religious fervor. That is the experience of heaven on earth. Finally fucking speak again.
Yeah, like what is the time right between thinking step 1 between step 5? How long does that take?
That is entirely based on you. Sometimes that'll take an hour, sometimes I find it really understand it. I can't understand what you meant by it. And other times it's literally within 5 seconds. I run each step by step. I perfectly perceive it. Sometimes I don't even need to run the individual steps because the portal makes it so clear to me automatically. It's so insane. Like, it's the first time since we've been down here that I've been able to just let it slide on my mouth with no effort. And the words are actually there. They came. And they didn't stop coming until I was done. And I was never struggling for a word. There was never a 3-minute pause where I tried to come up with the right word to articulate what I was saying. You know what I mean? So you see, now you gotta actually start trying to run that framework, and you basically your job now, sir, is
to be super confused and not have it work, and ask every single question you possibly think of, and voice every single uncomfortable little piece that you don't get at first. Because it will probably take a while for you to adapt to actually running this in everyday life. Right? There's so many steps and there's so many things to think about, where eventually it just becomes like there's just 1 and 2, and the 3 in the middle don't even exist. They're just a way for you to potentially reach 1 and 2, and then there's just 1 and 2, and then you just see there's just you and God, just one piece, right? But your job now is to just be the test run. Your job now is to be the average person trying to run the frame run. Your job is to be the average intelligent being trying to understand it. And you have to find every problem. You know what I mean? Everything which is confusing, and voice it so that I can tell it to the people.
Yeah. I'll be studying.
We should potentially just do a meditation session for like an hour, where you just run through it, and then every like 15 minutes we pause, and you'd be like, oh, I kind of got it here, and I saw what you were saying with this, but this cluttered it up, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Is that hard?
It's worse than a regular bike. It's like, if you just added like 15 pounds to a regular bike, basically.
Well, last bike I rode was Ryan's rusty bike, and it was terrible.
Probably a little better than that. One hand, because if so, then after my battery fully dies, stops blinking, you can carry the battery.
Why?
I got lighter. But that's too inconvenient. Like for me, it's really easy. Your new pedals.
I should be able to, but that's an interesting concept. It's saying it's at 3 bars, so it charged during that. It solar powered, probably. how much a person can change.
Yeah, like I don't even feel like even close to the same class that human being.
Yeah, this sucks that you can just be at that point at one point in your life and just it doesn't stick with that like forever. You can't work out and be like, yeah, this will stick with me for 10 years. Would you take rain as a concern?
Great tonight.
Maybe we should go to Walmart and get the rest of this stuff.
It's just coffee filters and.
And bread.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. And I gotta get banknotes. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get too late. I don't get a ship of time. I'm gonna pay more than $3.
What is it, like $5?
Huh?
Is it $5?
No.
No way.
I'll do that later this evening before we go to your house.
And maybe go to local Walmart because they don't have it. They didn't have it yesterday. So.
Yeah, that's crazy. Everyone's not great. Are you alone?
Yeah, it's alright. We should do nectarine.
Have you tried the coconut ones yet?
No.
You should ditch that one. Well, you just put it in some bag and you put it in the freezer. The coconut ones are garbage. I'm fucking retarded. They're even better than the lemon ones are.
Where are they?
Ooh, yeah. That might be a little. No. I think. You feel it? Is it squishy? Or is it hard? Yeah, it's covered. Yeah, the coconut ones. That is the best one, by the way. Large. Video games anymore.
That's like, and the fact that it happened like because of Sub 1, like at least on the day of Sub 1, which is like, and then like what it broke the second time on Sub 1.
Well, the thing was that it broke 3-4 times before our eyes before it finally went dead. Remember? It, like first it wouldn't turn on, and then the Wi-Fi was out. No, it was first the Wi-Fi was out, and then it like turned on, but like we couldn't log in, and then we could log in, but the game wouldn't launch, and then it just died.
Yeah.
Or something. Tell me that did not go retarded hard.
That's insane.
Yeah, hold on. They say coconut, and they said, yep, we're going for it.
It's like ice cream.
Yeah, it is. Just as good as ice cream. You could freeze chocolate chips and eat it with it, and you have coconut. You can freeze dark chocolate, coconut popsicle. Write down every old trademark. Slingshot, question mark. I now understand, right now I understand how all of them are encapsulated. Slingshot, question mark, black hole.
Divine lightning, acid baptism.
What is it?
Divine lightning, acid baptism.
Violent lightning?
Divine lightning.
Divine lightning.
Phantom. fridge this time, though.
Huh?
So maybe if I look in the fridge this time, there'll be food.
You gotta get frozen blueberries for cereal.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Is there any honey equivalent for you? Is there vegan honey? Honey's also really good on like.
There's agave. Get that.
Other than cereal, here's the things I do. Like, so you gotta get rid of. Here's one of the best ones. French fries. You do French fries, chicken nuggets, mixed vegetables, beans, tomatoes. Make like a nice slop. Other than that, let's see. Do you have vegan mac and cheese? If so, you could do vegan mac and cheese as a base. Why not? Why don't you have your parents get you any of this stuff? Are you retarded?
Yeah, just not really not.
What is it?
Just never texted them to do it.
Yeah, but you really gotta do it like right now then. Like,
Yeah.
If you get like, I mean literally, like you say, yeah, I mean literally get your phone right now and start texting. I mean like literally right now.
Sounds pretty real.
What is it? Literally just text them right now.
Almost pretty real.
I'm gonna text them right now. So you think that there's something objectively wrong with getting your face drawn on?
Not objectively wrong, but that is objectively
So,
on
in
the
other words-
spectrum of the
so
word
in other words,
disrespectful.
If someone is drawing on your face as a joke,
Outside of
that would not
consent,
be that
outside
bad.
of consent, that is called disrespectful. Yes.
Okay.
Now you can have that. You can have a different reaction based on that, and depending on
No,
how bad
there's
it
only
is.
one correct. If a child draws on your face and you ever get mad at that child or any person for that matter, and their intention is to do it as a joke, you are retarded. That is an objectively incorrect
But what?
way to react. It is an immature way to react. That's a bad way to react. Objectively.
What would be the better way to react?
The better way to react would be depending on their intention, you then gauge a reaction. So for instance, if someone draws on your face and drawing on your face negatively affects you in some way, so let's say you have a job interview the next day, that is now acceptable. Now you can get angry. Angry is still the most immature way to deal with it because you should communicate with them effectively, but anger is now an acceptable reaction because the anger that you execute can potentially recuperate your own thought textures, right? The anger that you can exhibit, let's say you yell at someone because they made you miss the job interview, you can make the case that potentially the positive thought textures you get from exhibiting that scream, then you can justify anger. That's the only form of anger you can justify.
The child would learn hypothetically.
Well, that is also something you consider whenever you're yelling at something that's in the macro efficiency formula. You just have to understand, is my thought texture in this moment worth it? Do I think that my child's capable enough of understanding me yelling in this moment? Am I a good enough father in other capacities? Do I think this is going to damage my child moving forward? Or do I think this is an acceptable level of anger that will hopefully disregard him from doing anything like this in the future, teach my lesson, and also make me feel better? You have to consider all of that, but there's an acceptable way to express anger. However, due to the reaction of if his intention was not negative, if his intention was not malicious, there's nothing wrong with the action of drawing. In the same way, someone eating your body, there's nothing wrong with the action. There's nothing wrong with someone eating your body because my body is not mine, because there are only thought textures, there are only people experiencing different things, and if my body can be eaten by a group of cannibals and it makes them feel better, oh, great! Great! If they can give me $100 before I die for it, even better. There's nothing wrong with
So if I
my body.
consent to it, that's a completely different environment.
No. What you said was that you want something to happen to your body, and then I
Is that
asked you
I
why,
value.
and you said you don't know why.
I didn't
Why
say I
do you
didn't.
value that?
Why do I value? Because I value my form, and I value someone not
Why do
eating
you
it.
value your form? This idea of just valuing things in and of themselves because they are the way they are is a bad thing to do because it leads to only bad things. Nothing good comes from this idea. Name one good thing that comes from that idea that you said. That holding on to things simply because they are the way that they are is a good thing.
So I don't think the
that exact idea
I
is
don't
what
think
the lead-
cannibalism is something that should be advocated for in a stable, living,
only
healthy
thing
society.
that- the
So the
only
idea
one
that
thing-
you should do
there's
that,
only
the idea
one
that
thing.
is okay. You should eat dead human beings.
Why
That
is it okay?
because
if it can be done morally, it's perfectly fine.
outside of health and outside of like, I don't think that is the way to create a healthy living society.
Let's say they only do it one time.
Only do it one time. Well, that's
You know all the ways around this. You know I'm talking about. I'll do any combination which gets rid of that. Like, that does not matter. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the entire concept. I'm talking about the idea, the center of your idea, which is that you can just believe things because you believe them, and that's the way you feel. That's a
no.
horrible thing to do.
I would prefer my body not
Why?
be eaten. In
Why?
the same way, I would prefer
Why?
I would not
Well,
walk
what's the
around
reason
town with my face drawn on in
Why?
pain because I would prefer me to look.
Why? No, that's not true. The reason you don't want your face drawn on is because it affects other people's reactions, which affects the way you move the world. That's an acceptable answer.
Yeah, and in the
Saying
world, I
because
don't
is an
want.
acceptable
And in the
answer.
world, I don't want the world to exist where people can be outside eating, and you're just allowed to like.
Why?
Because I don't.
All you're saying is I don't like it. That's, who cares? Were you not recording that?
The screen went black, which stopped it.
Why did it do that?
I don't know. I don't know why. Like, That's not
I know
what
it does.
recording
It
does.
did that to me too. But why does it do that? We gotta figure out why it does that because we lose so many good conversations for that stupid fucking shit.
Is there even a setting where you can change that?
I don't think so. I guess we just start using a different recording app. What could we even use? Boxer?
Okay, it's for both.
How much better you got?
A lot.
Okay. No, not on camera. Remember Goober? Ball. A Christian and believing in God means I'm going to win that wrestling match. Then that's what I'm going to do every single time because I am a being that only wants the best athletic. Do you understand what I said?
Yeah.
You do not. You do.
No, I did. I can repeat it. If you were a Christian, you would apply the best thought texture.
No, it's that I would believe that I was a Christian if that held the best thought texture. So if I'm a wrestler and I'm wrestling a match, then for that match I'll believe I'm a Christian if that's most efficient, and then I'll stop believing right after that. I will believe whatever's most efficient in the present moment. That's max efficient ritual. Step 2, Zix. This is from the story, right? Do you remember the 3 levels of the story?
The
Zix,
universe
A6,
thing?
and Xazix.
Universe thing? The universe thing?
Maybe, I don't know. This is
Let's
Zix,
go.
A6, Xazix. So
go.
this goes along with the story. Start looking for the map. It does not matter. So the story goes like this. You have Trevor, you're gonna have to help me explain here. So listen as well. So there's a group of scientists. I'm Russell.
Well, if you remember, we talked about this. The
Yeah,
society,
yeah,
the crazy
I'm
equations.
giving you the recap. And keep in mind, this is me giving myself a recap too. We've covered this forever. So we've kind of talked quite a lot. Sorry, so anyways, and Trevor, you're recording.
Yes.
Okay, record on the. Alright, good. Last test, let's see if you can record in the background of the game. If you can't, I'm gonna throw this thing out the fucking window.